Okay, so these are my egg yolks that I've been dehydrating in salt, and the first thing you need is a really good box or a container. Anything that you can put over the top, like cardboard or plastic wrap, would work too if you have an open container. So you're going to layer the inside with about 2 inches of salt, and then you would smooth it all out, and then you would make a little divot like this, and you would put your yolk in there, and I'll show you how to do that in a minute. This already has yolks in it, so I'll start to dig them out here. There's one. And it's hard. It's not, I'm pushing really hard, and it's just barely giving in the center. You can keep them going until they're completely like hard rock if you wanted to. But I've got quite a few in here, so I'm going to start digging them all up. This one, the yolk actually broke open when it hit the salt, so you can see the difference right here. It's still good to use. It's just the yolk itself, the inside has been dried out instead of the entire sack. You can see the difference between those two. And I do have 3 quail eggs in here somewhere, so I'm going to have to try and find them. That's not a quail, that was just a piece of hard. Salt. Oh, there's a quail egg. That's compared to a chicken egg. But this has 3 times more protein than this one does. So this is like a really good thing to store up because you get a lot of protein in a very small amount. Another quail egg. Tiny little things. Another quail egg. And they used to do this, oh my goodness, way centuries ago. They started doing this as a way to keep their yolks over the winter so they could use them as higher protein. I think that's all of them. Oops, nope. Oh, no. Alright, so let's take these and put them on my cutting board, and I'll show you what you can do with them. Theo, you need to stop. Alright. Theo, stop. We have a new puppy. And he hasn't learned manners yet. Okay. So there are several things you can do. You can rinse these off and reconstitute them and use them as an egg yolk, although they will be salty. This is considered the poor man's Parmesan cheese because it has a salt under the nails, yuck. It has a Parmesan-y kind of flavor. So you can just rinse them off and reuse them, or you can grate them. I will probably use this one. And this is what you would put over noodles, casseroles, over eggs, anything that you wanted a flavor. It's got a little salty kick. It's full of protein, little bits of fat. That's one way you can use them. The other way is to just slice them very thinly and put them on top of anything, you know, even sandwiches, anything that you wanted to add a little bit of flavor, a higher amount of protein. And again, you can do, these are just the tiniest hint. Well, I'll show you the inside. It gives just a little bit. You can see that. You can make them so they're rock hard if you want to, and they will grate better. Or you can do this for, you know, sandwiches or whatever. And there you go. It's very simple. Let me show you how to actually do it. So let me grab some eggs. Okay, so to start another batch, to start another batch, I'm taking out some of the salt because I don't want it 4 inches thick. That has to go on top. And I'm going to break up any of these clumps that I can. You can use the salt indefinitely. It doesn't go bad. Okay. And then you take your spoon and you just make a little divot. Alright, then you take your egg, and you're going to get all the white out. And then over here, and you just very gently lay it in there. Oops, I'm going too fast for the camera. I'll do a couple quail eggs. They are a little bit harder because the shells are a little bit thicker. You can see how tiny they are, but again, 3 times the amount of protein. Can't argue with that. Okay. Almost got it all the glue off. Okay. Another little quail egg. So then all you do is you take your extra salt and very carefully put it over. You don't want to dump it on too heavy. Just sprinkle it at first because you don't want to pop them. You want to build up the salt around it so that when you put it over the top, there's support from the outsides, like around the edges here. And you want to cover it with about 1 inch of salt. In some drier areas, this will actually dehydrate in about a week. But I'm in the Pacific Northwest and we have a lot of moist air from the coast, and so for me it takes about 3 to 4 weeks to get to this stage where it's hard. And that's all you have to do. And then storing it, you can put these in a bag, you can put in like a Ziploc baggie, you can put them in canning jars, you can keep them in the fridge if you're nervous about it. You can also keep them in a very cool place like under 60 degrees and they will last pretty much indefinitely. The more dry they are, the longer they last. These are a little bit rubbery. You can see I can dent it just a little bit there. So these I would probably put in the fridge and we'll eat them in ramen over the next couple weeks. This next batch I will probably do for a longer period of time because I have so many eggs right now. And those will go on the shelf for very long-term storage. You can also put them in a in a canning jar and use the vacuum sealer, and those will last for a very, very long time. So it's an easy way to store your egg yolks, extra protein, especially the quail eggs, and yeah, Any questions, let me know.